that Delhi University is India's most coveted university with some of the country's top colleges is well known. Cutoffs yet again, and no surprises here, 99% and 100% is well, like I said, absolutely no surprises. So why are students still so reluctant to look outside? And of course, the other big question, why aren't we creating more institutions of excellence? Well, that's what we're looking at today with a very special panel that joins us. Professor Rupa Manjari Ghosh, who is Director, School of Natural Sciences, Shiv Nadar University with us. Professor Mamkotum, who is Professor and Director of the Business School and Dean Student Services, Ambedkar University of Delhi here with us. Jatin Bhandari, Education Consultant, also joining us. We're also joined from Mumbai by Dinesh Panjwani, Principal at RD National College of Mumbai University. And from Bangalore, joined by Mr. Venu Narayan, Director, School of Liberal Studies, Azim Premji University. Thanks all so much for taking our time to speak to us this morning. Professor Ghosh, ma'am, if I may ask you, we've had students calling us in a state of real despair saying, I've got a 95%, it has to be North Campus and nothing but what I want, I'm not going to get in, etc. I mean, there's a lot of sort of like, hand wringing, chest beating, we don't know what to do, our parents are so let down, etc., etc. There's little scope of them getting what they want in DU, but they're not willing to look outside.
This is a very stressful process. It's stressful all over the world, but is here, I think part of the stress is because we do not go for any informed choice. It is true that this concept of ranking that you mentioned, top ranked institution, top ranked college, a lot of it is just hearsay in India. It's not based on any data. It's a public perception of how a college fares.
And perception often sort of trumps reality. That's just...
That's true. So if you have found your passion, you should not chase an institution rather than chase your passion. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can press yourself hard enough to come up to this. So that's
an important point that you sort of make, especially on the rankings. But there's so much perception and there's so much, about the rankings, and we keep sort of seeing some people dominate the rankings, some institutions dominate the rankings year on year in several rankings also. So I see the point you're making. Mr. Panjwani, if I could bring you in at this stage, we've got so many people saying, look, when you look outside Delhi, look at Mumbai University, look at the kind of colleges that are on offer there, look at the class of students, look at what they are creating. But is it really frustrating to see that we sort of don't seem to get over our obsession with Delhi University?
I think that Delhi is equally popular among the students across country and the world as Mumbai University, and I think that the Delhi University is attracting more students from the neighboring, and internationally they are very sound. And I think Mumbai University is equally popular among the students. But only thing is this, that I think that the number of colleges in Delhi are less than the number of colleges in Mumbai. So in Mumbai we do not face that kind of difficulties for a student getting admission into the colleges. That ranking etc. is here also. Here I want to put up one point, that the student should realize that the college which they call it as top is not because of the efforts of the students enrolled currently in the college,
that's
but it
true.
is the efforts and the achievement of their
in the past,
peers and the alumni.
Professor Mamkotum, one keeps hearing that there are so many other institutions. You're from the Ambedkar University. Over and over again, I'm told that why don't students look there? What's happening? Do you believe that there's something wrong in the messaging that we are putting out?
I think it's a couple of issues put together. One, we are a country of scarcity, and there is a true genuine scarcity of good education institutions. If you look at Delhi city itself, the demand is huge, but the supply of seats are limited. Now the cutoff that we are talking about, I would consider it's a fiction. It's a relative processing of elimination. Since we have fewer number of seats available, there is some mechanism whereby we need to eliminate students.
Mr. Narayan, come in here. This is of course the example of the north that we are seeing, which is really a nightmare. Down south, you're representing the Azim Premji University today. How do you see the whole debate on where are our institutions of excellence 60 years on, over 60 years on? Why haven't we got more numbers to cater to this increasing demand we keep talking about in India that's getting younger and younger? It's only fair that every Indian has access to the best quality education, where we seem to be failing rather miserably, sir.
See, we have managed to increase the number of students who graduate from high school. However, the number of, as Professor Mankutam mentioned, the number of institutions of higher education hasn't gone up proportionately.
Right.
So some of the pressures in Delhi are also reflected in other parts of the country. We need to think about how to improve the quality and the availability of places in higher education for our students. This pressure is only going to increase because enrollment in school education are close to 100%. And all those students over the next 5 to 10 years are going to arrive at the doors of higher education.
Jatin, if I could ask you, is the problem that when students go in for counseling, or when they, when they're still trying to figure out what to do, there's just narrow focus on what's on offer at the very top, and little realization that I need to fit not just my academic scores, but also my interest, my passion, as Professor Ghosh mentioned, and that might lie elsewhere.
I tell you what, I think it's very important to follow the passion, but most of the people in the education system don't even know what it is. One, they are never given the opportunity to follow it. There's a very, very artificial game that somebody has created, that who gets the best numbers wins the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we are just, I don't think we are even human beings. We are numbers, we are percentages, we are 95, 98%. Has anybody ever seen an educational institution as a means to an end? That I want to do this for the next 3 to 4 years so that I get here in life, as opposed to just following a game. Yeah, we created all this.
It doesn't matter what I study. So, we constantly, I'll just get you in, Professor Ghosh, but we constantly come up with this course or college. And while everyone says, look, focus on your course if you really want to, but most students come and say, no, it's got to be college. It's the brand that matters. Right. Professor Ghosh.
Yeah, there is a merit to that, because most of our so-called top-ranked institutions do not do any value addition. Sorry for being so blunt. Just because your peers are so great, you select good students, they themselves. So it's important to be in a good, bright classmates. But I think other than that, now is the time. The world has opened up for Indians, and I would like to make one very important point. There are relatively new institutions in India that are coming up in a very, very big way. I represent one, Shiv Nadar University. It's only 4-year-old. This August we are going to be 4. I've been there for 3+ years. Now, so rankings are yet to be established.
Sure.
But the important point I want to make is that should you run after a well-known college or try out a modern university? There is a difference between an affiliated college and studying in a university where teaching and research are supposed to be synergetic.
Right.
So I think people do not learn when they're just lectured at, but you learn by doing.
Right.
And that kind of participatory way of learning is the motto of a university. That's the definition of university.
Right. And that's of course, in an ideal world, we would see students armed with that knowledge, but we're not, are we anywhere close, Jatin? I mean, like you're saying, we are marks. We're not much beyond.
I tell you what, my preparation of 2 months and performance in a chemistry exam, how is that representative of my ability to do really something meaningful in the next 10 to 20 years? I had this pressure of society, I had this pressure of, so I'm just speaking for, like,
Sure.
So how can somebody gauge my performance of 3 months and a percentage and directly correlated with what am I capable of doing? Why do we not have something very, very qualitative where we can assess the interest of somebody, we can assess the ability or potential of somebody to create something new, to be creative, to create a new model, or probably go to Mumbai, explore arts, explore acting, anything. Right? I don't think that is even, like, if somebody does that, I think he will be branded as a rebel.
Yeah, perhaps. Yes, quickly before I get there.
I think it's also a question of security of employment, of future possibilities. So why do students and parents rush to, X institutions? Simply because the students from that institution, alumni from there, are doing well in life, right? So it is the future potential of getting a secure job, and the market is also very biased. The recruiters are not willing easily to try out new institutions, new graduates from new institutions. So it's not as simple as it appears. To me, it's a very complex situation. The aspirations of the emerging so-called new middle class, along with the recruiters who look for branded institutions graduates, and the students caught in between. So it's a very complex situation.
It is a complex situation. Mr. Narayan, if I can bring you in, sir, again at this stage, we keep coming back to the point, like Professor Mamkutum is making, that everyone's going after, it's not just the students, but the students are seeing that in the market there's perhaps greater demand, greater respectability, etc., greater remuneration also very often if you're out, if you've got a certain brand name on your CV. Is there, again, I come back to the point, is there something wrong in the messaging that we are giving out? Do we sort of need to start afresh, saying that you need to give, at the end of the day, the student's own potential is perhaps the most important thing?
See, as a society, we have to change the way families and students understand the value of education itself, both school education and higher education. There is a very narrow understanding of what education is for, and that message, and it is not a message any particular institution needs to give, perhaps all institutions, the state perhaps, media, that education is not merely about getting a good job. It has a much broader remit, both as a social, something that prepares young people for citizenship, and also for life. And unless this understanding seeps into wider society, we will have very narrow targeting of, or very narrow understanding of what education is for. So students just look at reputation, the so-called brand value, so-called what salary did X get at the end of an education. These are extremely narrow measures.
They are extremely narrow measures, but, and I know that what you're, the media sort of usually tends to highlight X passed out of so-and-so institution and therefore, is earning an eight-figure salary, or, all those kind of headlines are sort of, I guess, have all contributed to the situation that we are at present. But Mr. Panjwani, if I could ask you, we're talking about why not look beyond, this institution is going to get me this job, is going to get me this figure, is going to give me this respectability, but sort of, if you do a reality check, does that really happen on the ground? And can the student today really be expected to look for other reasons like learning or the kind of quality of learning that I have? I mean, how do we sort of start making all these things matter as well?
See, today that the employer is not looking for, according to me, that which institution that person has come from. They look at the skill sets which the student possess. The problem is this, that the students realize about that which career they want to pursue, that is only after joining the college, where they have already chosen a course. The student should choose first the career, then they should identify that the skill sets, and then they should look for the course.
What more do we need to do? What's wrong with our messaging? No overnight changes, don't expect a magic wand, but hopefully we will be able to spread the message that there are institutions out there who can perhaps give you the same learning platform, if not better, that the ones that you, coveted ones that you perhaps can't get into just yet, offer. We'll slip into a quick break, back with more.